Thank you for joining me today on a journey into your imagination. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Far Beyond Stories for other magical adventures. Today I will be sharing the story of the tree that refused to change that I have written and illustrated for you to enjoy. Far, far beyond, once upon a time, deep in the forest, there was this tree called Theo. It was a new tree in the forest compared to all the other trees. Theo was amazed at the size of the trees around him. He spent his days dreaming of a time when he would be as tall as all the other trees. He knew that if he believed that he would be like the other trees, then someday he too would grow up tall and strong. The other trees were tall and had these magnificent green limbs. He couldn't wait to grow green limbs like them. Little did Theo know that he was different than all the other trees around him. He was from a different land altogether. One spring day, he noticed that he was starting to grow limbs. The other trees called them branches. They told him how these branches would make him feel strong, and he would have the power to gain strength from the sun once his branches fully developed. He started to notice that his branches did not look the same as all the other trees. Yet he was still excited to see how strong and tall he would grow. One morning he woke to the sun shining on his face and noticed something starting to happen at the end of his branches. He could not believe his eyes. Could it be he's finally getting his green needles like all the other trees? One of his leaves started to form, and he looked at it confused, as it looked like no other leaf he had seen on any other tree. However, he loved that his leaves were different from all the other trees. All the animals started to gather around him and look at him with amazement and wonder. "What kind of tree are you?" would they ask. "I've never seen anything like you before." "What beautiful flowers you have on your branches," they would say. "They smell so pretty." As the days went by, he noticed that his flowers that he had admired had dropped and are now starting to form something else. Day by day, his limbs were getting stronger as these flowers started to form a heaviness to them. He wondered what kind of leaves he was growing, until one of these leaves fell off his tree limb to the ground, and one of the animals decided to eat it. "Wow! What a wonderful fruit you have grown on your limb." This gave Theo such great joy to share this with his fellow animal friends. Before he knew it, all the forest animals came from all over to enjoy the fruit that fell from his limbs. Until one day, when all his fruit was gone, and his animal friends had left him to prepare for the change of season. This left Theo feeling very lonely and sad. He did not want to experience what they had called winter, and from what they said, he was not sure he wanted to. The days started getting colder and lonelier, and Theo started to grow very sad. He noticed his leaves were starting to change colors, and he did not want his leaves to change from the beautiful green. No one had taught Theo about seasons and change. Theo started to become frightened of change as his animal friends started getting more and more worried for winter to come. A message came on the wind and said, "My son, now is the time to drop your leaves and get ready for the season of change." He did not want to do what the wind had asked him to do. He loved his leaves. So every time the wind would blow his way, he held on tight to his leaves. This made him feel stronger somehow, that he was in control of when he would change. It was settled then. He is stronger than the wind, and he kept his leaves. Until one day, a wise owl landed on his leaves and warned him of a great storm to come, and told him that the storm would bring a great freeze. The owl warned him that this may be his last opportunity to change before the seasons do. Theo believed he could be stronger than the change, as he was able to hold onto his leaves every time the wind blew his way. The owl flew off, shaking his head at the young tree, as he knew not of the strength of winter and her power to cleanse the great forest. Theo kept his leaves with pride until one morning he woke with a weight so unbearable on his limbs. What is so heavy on my limbs that I can hardly move? He opened his eyes to see that there was a heavy white material all over him that made him feel cold and his limbs very weak. He did not feel as strong as he did in the spring when the sun gave him the strength to grow. And as hard as he tried, the owl was right. Mother Winter was stronger than he, and his pride to hold his leaves ended up costing him. His limbs began to break as day grew darker and colder, and the white snow began to fall more and more. This made Theo very, very sad, and now understood why all the other animals of the forest were worried about the arrival of Mother Winter. One day Owl landed in the tree again and felt a deep sorrow for the tree that was too proud to shed his leaves, that he lost his branches. The owl decided to help Little Tree through the sadness and give him hope. Owl left him with this message: what Mother Winter takes away, she has the power to heal within. Ask her for her wisdom, and she will talk with you on the wind. This gave Theo some hope. That day he did just as the owl told him to do the night before. He called to Mother Winter for her wisdom. The wind began to pick up, and then he heard the words traveling on the wind. My son, she said, go within your trunk, and you will find all the strength you need to heal what you have lost. At first Theo was very confused of the riddle she spoke, but he knew to listen to the wind this time, as he had already lost what he valued the most. He spent day and night thinking about what Mother Winter had told him. Go within your trunk, and you will find all the strength you need to heal what you have lost. It took a while, but before he knew it, it started becoming stronger. And he realized that he had the power deep within that even was stronger than the power his limbs and leaves gave him. This power came from deep, deep, deep within, and when he tapped into it, he noticed that his roots started to grow stronger and wider. The stronger and wider his roots began to grow, the stronger he grew. He no longer mourned the loss of his limbs, and began to marvel at the strength he gained from within and below. Mother Winter was proud of her son for all he had learned, so she left him with this message: as above, so below. Only you know the true strength it takes to grow from within. I am proud of you, and when spring arrives with her warmth, you will be gifted with all you have lost and more. This made Theo smile, as he now understood what the owl once told him long ago about embracing change. As the days became warmer and spring graced us with her presence, Theo noticed he was growing above what he lost and more. He remembered what Mother Winter had said, "As above, so below." He now knew what that meant. Because he did the work to grow from within and strengthen his roots, he had the ability to grow his limbs equally strong and powerful. His limbs had become so strong, powerful, and tall, so much he was able to feed 10 times as many animals as the year before, and they were so very thankful that they never left him all season long. He was no longer lonely or sad, and when the time came for winter to come, he welcomed her by dropping a blanket of leaves to protect and keep his forest friends warm. This made the forest smile as their youngest tree was growing up and had learned the great lesson of life. Change is a powerful tool to grow and become strong for years to come. That concludes today's story of Theo and the tree that refused to change. If you would like to join me for a guided meditation about embracing change, click the link below, and I look forward to seeing you.